So we've been, we've been moving right along in this journey of blockchain and discovery, trying to figure out, what's happening here in this space. And I think we can all see that it is starting to move forward. We now have a president-elect who's going to join office here, who is a big proponent of the technology. And we're starting to see a lot more use cases and a lot more willingness to listen and utilize. We're estimating about $20 trillion from investment firms that will be migrating into the blockchain space over the next 2 to 5 years. That equals quite a large growth rate, because currently the entire blockchain market is at about 3.2 trillion. And so 3.2 trillion to 20 trillion, you could imagine the changes in how the networks will operate and the value of those networks because of that new operation. So you're in a great spot. You're still early. This is the first time we're going to see a market that is going to explode due to adoption and not speculation, which is fun. And that adoption is in the form of retirement and investment companies. So that $20 trillion isn't coming from guys like you and me, or gals like you and I. It's coming from retirement institutions that are seeing the value over time, that will that want to buy it so that they can leverage that value over time, because they can see it, that it's going to be more valuable in the future as well. And so it looks like a good retirement thing. So let's see. Now, do you run the women's? Are you like
100 Black women?
That's right. Okay, so I would love to teach self-custody to your groups for you still. I still do that on the side. It's been actually getting a lot more popular, which is great. People are starting to realize, hey, this is here, and I want to capture some, and I don't want Coinbase to have it, or I don't want Gemini to have it, or Kraken to have it. I want to have it. And so that's really what this class is about. This class is about acquiring digital assets and holding them yourself, and not allowing another third party to house them for you. A lot of people don't understand the value in that, but I can give you 3 letters, FTX. Have you guys ever heard of FTX? FTX was a holding institution for people's crypto, and that shut down and took everybody's money. And that was a government regulated environment. They even built a stadium. They built a stadium. they had all these retirement funds, all these crypto companies that they were funding. They took everybody's money. They even created a couple crypto companies to bring in more value. And then eventually they just ran off with all the money. So if that's going to happen in regular, regulated government environments and blockchain, how are we supposed to acquire this asset safely if this is a potential risk? And the solution is what we teach here. It is self-custody of those assets. Okay, because if you're going to give it to an institution and have them promise to give it back to you, it is a promise to give it back to you, and they may or may not do so.
What do you mean self-custody?
Great question.
Yes.
So self-custody, so right now, the typical way that an individual would buy crypto is they would open a Coinbase account. That's just like one regular company, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Crypto.com. And they would sign up for an account. They'd put in their ID front and back, because it's a KYC government regulated entity, right? They have KYC and AML, know your customer. And then you would take your debit card and add it in there, and then you would buy crypto in that wallet. And a lot of people stop there. And what they've done is they've moved some of their money from American dollars into crypto, but they left it in the custody of Coinbase. It's not their crypto, it's Coinbase's crypto. And if Coinbase were to ever shut down or become locked up, or the government would stop it for any reason, you would lose access to those funds. And right there, that's the crux. This is the problem we're trying to solve. How can I set my funds up and my assets in a way to where nobody can stop me from getting them, okay? And to where I can leverage that value the way I see fit, when I see fit, okay? A lot of people don't see this as an issue now, because our institutions have been very fair and honest, and they've always given us access to our money. But I believe in the future, as things start to change, that that narrative might also change. We might also start to find it harder to get access to our money that we should have access to. If you guys have ever made any large purchases at a bank, you'll find that it's actually getting pretty hard to get your money out. Anything over $10,000, they're going to have you sign paperwork for, and they're going to really try and hold off. They might even tell you no. That's happened. No, we don't support that, so you can't use the money for that. And then you say, wait a minute, this is my money. You can't tell me that. Oh, yes, we can. Read our fine print. Your money is our money, and we promise to give it back to you, but it's just a promise. There's no legal right to your money in a bank. Yeah.
I haven't found that. I haven't had that experience. And
Right.
I have moved large
Okay.
amounts of money.
What institution or body are you doing it under, privately or a business?
When you say large, it's a bank.
Yeah. So are you doing it privately or are you doing it through a company?
No, it's privately.
Okay,
I've
private.
done it privately.
All right.
I've moved it privately.
Well, in my experience, when we went to Wells Fargo to move like $90,000, Wells Fargo had a big problem with us putting it in Coinbase. They said no. And then we had to contact them and we had to write a letter and say, we want to authorize Coinbase as a part of our transactions to the bank. And only then they approved it. Okay, so banks are starting to try to lever and control. Insurance companies are the earliest form of where we're seeing the resistance. Insurance companies are already starting to try and lock us out of our value by creating rules that don't let us have our money back. One of the rules they just tried to pass, which they stopped, was any surgery that requires anesthesia over the allotted period of time, we won't cover. Now, I was in medicine for 25 years. That's a big deal to me because what surgeries go over their time limit? The most complex, the most troublesome surgeries, the ones where the patients are struggling the most, they always go over time. So they're saying those patients, they're no longer going to pay for their anesthesia.
Yeah, that was Blue Cross Blue Shield.
That makes, right. Now, what kind of company would set up a net like that? Only one that wants to keep the money that they're collecting, not giving it back to the people who need it. And so this kind of thinking triggered an event, didn't it? Like we saw a hospital a CEO get hurt or killed, shot in New York, right? Did you guys hear about any of this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because of the narratives that these companies are establishing to keep people away from their money. And I think he wrote something on each bullet, right? What was it? Deny, delay. Does anybody know the last one? Deny, delay, dispel, or something like that. And what we found out was depose. There you go. Yeah. Deny, delay, depose, which is their ethos, their value system that they operate under when they deal with customers. So when you call and say, hey, I've got this mass in my neck, they want to deny, delay, or depose. They don't want to give you your money. Now, this is not an institution we should be feeding value to, in my opinion. We should be feeding our value to companies that want to pay us the money we need to get our medical treatments. This is a mental a stance that these large corporations are starting to take to capture and hold this money, and I believe banks are migrating into this direction as well. So if that's the case, and we know that these large institutions are operating under such a large cost, they're looking for ways to continually take money to keep themselves afloat, how do we bypass that? And in my 9 years of researching and looking at how blockchains operate, one of the best ways to usurp it and to keep your value liquid, right? Because you could buy a block of gold and say, I'm not going to play with you banks. I'm going to buy a block of gold and stick it under my bed. But how liquid is that block of gold? Can you shave off a piece to go buy some milk? Can you, when you take it to the guy, the guy, are you going to get full value for your gold, or is he going to make sure he gets the most value himself? But if you hold crypto, you get the honest liquid value. It's tradable anywhere 24/7 worldwide. And so your money becomes actually more usable, more liquid than leaving it in a bank or putting it into some sort of value like gold. And that is the interesting proposition we're looking at today. We're looking at you looking at this new environment from a different angle. It's not a pump and dump trade thing. We're not waiting for it to go up and sell. Nobody has time for that. But we are looking to buy fixed supply asset classes that are not controlled by other authorities that we can leverage how we see fit. And that's what we're going to be teaching you guys today. So my name is James Rupe. I have a company called Cardano Mint. And in my company, what we do is we teach self-custody for everybody. Our goal is not to make a ton of money. Our goal is to help people preserve their money. And by preserving their money, they are able to have a voice in this world, because everybody knows this world operates on money. It didn't operate on money 80 years ago. You could have probably bought a ranch and lived all by yourself and not gotten bothered by anybody for a long time. But these days, if you're not paying your taxes yearly, and if you're not reporting, and if you're not doing things with the government, you don't have income, you don't exist. And so it becomes very important that we realize that, A, and then we say, if money does matter, and my voice is through value, then I need to capture my value so I can maintain my voice. If I hold money that belongs to somebody else, I truly have no voice. They have the voice. And right now, a lot of people don't realize something. Every single person, the majority, is giving their money every single paycheck to a bank, and that bank is not returning any value back to the individuals. So this is a closed loop. You're losing value by giving it to a bank. In crypto, in the space where the environment is growing at over 200% per year on average, there's a lot of return to be seen here. And the return is because a lot of people are trying to escape these captive environments. And so we're going to see, this isn't a widget, this isn't a t-shirt, this isn't a car. We're going to see everybody migrate money into this environment for this simple reason of self-preservation. They don't want their money taken from them or controlled. And so by doing self-custody like this, we are going to help you guys get right into that space. So today I printed out some handouts. I would like everybody to have one of these. This is a basic handout sheet. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the anatomy of this sheet so I can show you guys how it works and why I want you to, and some of this stuff will be trivial for masters that know crypto, right?
Let's go, though. I love it, bro.
Thanks.
I'm all about self-custody of wallet.
Sweet, man. That's the only thing we care about here is self-custody. Anybody else want a sheet? Anybody else want a sheet? Okay. So on this sheet, I created this sheet because through teaching people over the years, I would discover that everybody had different organizational systems, and some of them would fail. And because they would fail, they would lose their money. If you follow this sheet and fill it out accordingly, you will have what's called a solid blockchain private wallet backup. And it's so simple, right? We're going to first write the wallet maker's name. Why? Because there's 1,000 wallets out there, and some of them have different seed phrases or different lengths of seed phrases. So we want to know the maker if we want to restore this wallet. We also want to name the wallet. Why? So we can identify the wallet. If you have one crypto wallet, come see me. You should probably have 5 or 6. If you have all your assets in one wallet and you're transacting with friends and doing things with that one wallet, you are imposing an unnecessary risk. It is free to construct a crypto wallet. If you're ever going to do anything risky or unsure, you make a blank. Make an empty wallet. Move the money required for that transaction into that wallet and then do the transaction. That way you're not losing all of your apes. That way you're not losing any of your value if it's a scam, right? And then once you get the money in that wallet, then you move it into your primary wallets that you're holding. So I teach people to build wallet arrays, and that's something that we're going to go over. But today our time is fixed. We only have 1 hour, and this 1 hour we're going to try to construct a test wallet, and that is a task. Because what we're going to do is go over this sheet, we're going to try to understand it, you're going to quickly download an app, we're going to try and get a wallet up, and then we're going to try and send each other some money back and forth to show you guys how these wallets work within the hour. This is a tall order, so we're going to get started. So we have the wallet maker name, the wallet name itself, the spending password. Does anybody know what the spending password represents? So what if you want to spend that money? What password are you going to have to put in? The spending password, right? So that's the money that you would use to actually spend the money that's in that wallet. Now, if you're using a hardware device, that spending password becomes the secret seed word that reconstructs your wallet with the seed phrase. So if you've ever lost a Trezor, has anybody actually lost a Trezor with money on it? No? Okay, well, I have lots of friends that are in this biz, and I teach a lot of random people, and they have life happening all about them, and so I've had people lose a Trezor and come to me with my sheet and say, I put in my seed phrase and my money didn't come back. Why? And so I say, okay, let's understand what's going on here. And so when you build a seed phrase, what you're building is a root connection to the wallet, and then the spending password becomes the last secret word to build that wallet back on a Trezor. Okay? So if you build a seed phrase and your wallet's blank, what you do is you go into the Trezor suite and you say, I have a password wallet, a hidden one. And it'll say, build your password wallet. And then you put in the same password here, then your money comes back. Because it took the root, then it took the coded password, and then it bridged the link. So you really have to understand the nuance of how this works to really restore your wallets. So when you get that seed phrase, it's going to consist of 12, 15, 20, or 24 words, or even 30 words. The newest setup is established a 20-word seed phrase, and each word has a value set. And the value set changes depending on how many words there are. So the last 3 words in a value set have higher value than the first 3 words. And so you can actually construct your wallets back with a partial seed phrase now, which is huge. So you still have to have it, but you can construct it with a partial. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Eternal website, and we are going to download the app, and we're going to fill this sheet out with a wallet. Is that cool, guys? Now, some of you, if you were here before, you might already have the app, so we're just going to build another wallet. Because why? Wallets are free on blockchain. We want to build as many as we want. We want to test them. We want to destroy them. We want to rebuild them back before we actually start to use real money. And that's the biggest problem I see. A lot of people start with real money. They only halfway kind of understand what they're doing, and then they lose their money. And it becomes a learning experience that costs them money. I don't like this. So we're going to do it a different way. So we're going to go to the Eternal website. It's etrnal.io. And we're going to build a wallet. I'm going to help you guys do that right here. So
Cardano?
Yes, this is on Cardano. So the reason why we're using Cardano is it's highly secure. It's the only blockchain that's been running longest of any chain, without any kind of hack or compromise.
Except for Litecoin.
No, any chain.
Litecoin.
Litecoin is a copy of Bitcoin.
It's a fork. It's a fork.
Yeah, it's a fork of Bitcoin.
But
So
now it's so different.
yeah, but no, it's cool. Trust me, I'm positive on this record. I researched the hell out of it. Cardano is the longest running blockchain without any hacks, or any nefarious activity that compromise the network.
Well, it's also very secure. I think that was the overall.
The overall, right. That's why there's no hacks, because it's so secure. So Bitcoin uses the UTXO security standard, the unspent transaction security standard. Cardano uses the EUTXO security standard, the extended unspent transaction output standard. So you would have to hack Bitcoin before you could even attempt to hack Cardano, which is really interesting. So there are telltales out there. If I ever hear of Bitcoin getting hacked, I would start to worry, oh my gosh, Cardano might be next, right? And so it's kind of like that ahead of the game type thing. We're one layer up, so if this goes, we know we're in danger, and then we can migrate to something else. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but my point is please Google it and check it out. It's the longest running chain without any hack. It is one of the most secure, and it is also one of the most decentralized. Why do we care about these things? Because all of these things equal financial sovereignty. So if you have a network that holds your money for you, or charges you high fees, or has mechanisms in the way for people to monetize on your transaction, these are not things we want in our communication grid. I don't want to send a transaction to buy this. You see the transaction that I just put in to buy this for $5. You buy it first and then sell it to me for $5.05. And I don't have a choice. I already submitted my transaction, so I have to take the 505 instead of getting it for 5. That's called front running. And that is actually designed into certain blockchains. It is not in Cardano. Okay? And so understanding how the chains work at the deep code level is not something that many people understand. They read white papers and they go to meetups and they talk and talk and talk, but nobody ever sits down and installs the chain and starts running the code to find risk. Guess what I do? That's what I do. I will get that chain and I will put it on my computer and I will start running code to see where the risk is. I'll see the fees, I'll check for front running, I'll check for security flaws, I'll check for hosting. Are you allowed to hold your money? Are you allowed to spend your money? Are there any locking periods? Do you have to send it away or do you keep it? All of these things are risk. And so I found Cardano to have one of the lowest risk profiles out of any blockchain that exists right now. That doesn't mean it'll be there tomorrow, but Cardano's got a very good running start, and so this is the one I choose to teach people because this is the one that I use for my safety. I wouldn't want you to be on Brad Garling's house XRP network. That is a private company and he owns it, which means yeah, it might go up, but it's a private company. It has nothing to do with blockchain. It's just like buying Best Buy stock or something else. It's his company. And a lot of people don't understand that. They hear XRP, they see blockchain. They're like, this is a new blockchain. No, it's not. It's just a private company using blockchain. It's very different than sovereignty and money and value. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to build this wallet. And so we're going to start with Cardano. And here is how we will do it. So we're going to go to the eternal.io website. Oops. And it's kind of loud, isn't it? I think I might join you on that one. Got a little bumpy. All right, guys. Yeah, we're just starting, actually, guys. Welcome. Hi, I'm James. Good. Vino. Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Yes. Vino. All right. So let me get some Wi-Fi in here, guys. I just realized I don't have any Wi-Fi. Oh, I need. There it is. So we'll go to Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, I'm here as JRNY guest. So why are we not getting anything here? Let's see, I probably typed it in wrong. Okay, there it is. So it's eternal.io. Now they do have an app. Just pull this up real quick, guys. Okay. And so what we're going to teach today is not necessarily the app. We're going to teach you how to access the wallet on a web-based system. Why? Because this will be tied to your Google account and the wallet will kind of follow you wherever you have your Google account, which is nice. Okay, so to start, has everybody downloaded or has anybody gone to the website? Are you able to follow along at this point?
Yeah, I'm at the seed phrase.
Perfect, you're already at seed phrase. So if you're ahead and you want to do it, just go ahead and follow the sheet because you're not going to make a mistake if you're following the sheet. So to add a wallet for you newbies, you're going to go to the top left corner and you're going to hit add wallet. And when you click that top right corner and add wallet, you'll be presented with this 4-cube menu. This 4-cube menu gives you all the options you need. If you want to create a brand new wallet, you can. If you want to restore a wallet, now that would be that scenario that I talked about for if you lost something, you could restore it if you had your seed phrase. If you want to integrate a hardware wallet, what that does is it's going to port over something called a public key and allow this wallet to be a viewer for your hardware wallet. But your hardware wallet will still be required to send money. And then we can also import an old wallet because these networks are evolving and growing. So we have different eras. We have Shelley, we have Voltaire, we have Ouroboros. We have all of these different levels of the Cardano network, and new wallets and new security gets implemented every time they upgrade. So we have a couple of older networks that you can still port in and then transfer that money to the newer network or just leave it in the old network because it will always persist. It's in the chain. So today we're going to create a new wallet, and just like on that sheet of paper, if you look at it, it says wallet maker. You would write eternal, E-T-R-N-L, at the top of the sheet where it says wallet maker. On the second line, you would put wallet name, and this is how you would name the wallet. Now notice what I named my wallet. I'm very original. I named it Test. Okay, so
I named mine Check Out.
yeah, check it out. That's awesome. So I named mine Test But you guys, what's that?
It's secure no matter what you name it. I mean,
The name is, the name is for your recognition. It has nothing to do with the security of it. So, yeah, name it what you want. Good point. Good point.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I absolutely, but I want to say great presentation, James.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you,
Great
bud.
work. All right.
Yeah. Hit me up on Wednesday.
Yes,
We'll definitely get together. Okay,
Happy
bud.
holidays, everyone.
All right, we'll see you. Later, bud. I know he's got stuff to do. All right, so you're going to have your wallet here. You're going to write the maker of the wallet. You're going to write the wallet name. And then you're going to create a password for this wallet. This would be something to spend the money. So you're not just going to pull up a wallet, say I want to send $10 and hit send. You're going to pull up the wallet, say I want to send $10, and then you're going to have to sign the transaction like a check. And the password is that signature for that transaction. And so you have to have that written clearly on your sheet. Wallet maker, wallet name, spending password. Hence the reason we call it a spending password, because you need the password to spend the money, right? Hi. And so once you have those things filled in, and we're going to go back over here.
So I'm behind you guys, sorry.
That's okay. Take your time, bud.
I went to Cardano Mint, and then I didn't see any of these choices.
Actually, for this, you're going to go to eternal.io for the wallet. So it's eternl.io. Do you see, or .io. So that's a little bit different than just going to my website. Now, my website, I have book now for sessions. So if you're squeamish and you're not sure and this is really complicated, I do 4-hour boot camps where we sit down and we nail it in and we practice back and forth and you become a master in the boot camp. Okay, that is the real crux of this. It is very difficult to teach all of this information inside of 1 hour, nearly impossible, I would say. The average enthusiast has to spend about 150 hours to even understand what blockchain is. And that's from the professionals out there. That's what they state, about 150 hours. I can truncate that knowledge into about 8 to 9 hours with a wallet constructed. But it does take a lot of time and a lot of understanding. We're definitely in a casual setting. We're in Zoom and we're just talking a lot and kind of looking at the world and explaining the scenarios, looking at charts, graphs, businesses, and macroeconomics to make this make sense. But on this, our mission statement is we're deeply rooted in educating and guiding you through the intricate landscape of blockchain, focusing on its profound impact and accessibility for everyone. A lot of people don't think blockchain is for them, and it is. Blockchain is a mechanism designed for the individual. And that is what a lot of people don't quite understand. We delve deep analyzing blockchain platforms based on user-centric criteria such as language, security, scalability, affordability, and global economic inclusivity. Not all chains are the same, and not all of them are inclusive, not all of them can scale, not all of them are affordable, and certainly not all of them are global. Okay, and so what we do is we kind of break that down. We start talking about chains, chain metrics, market caps, adoption, global adoption, liquidity, security. We go over all of it. So you really have a sense of what is going on in this space when you're done. Our ethos is to champion decentralization, advocate for user empowerment through voting rights and decision-making in the blockchain sphere. We stand firm in our commitment to privacy, security, and the use of cutting-edge technology to shape the future not only meets but exceeds our aspirations. At Cardano Mint, we equip you with the knowledge and tools to safely navigate this revolutionary space, ensuring you're well prepared to join and influence this new era. This is why we're here, guys. So I do recommend that you buy hardware wallets. A password wallet is okay, but if you're going to store anything over $1,000 and up, let's blow the $70 and let's get a hardware device and take the need to put your password on a computer away. And the reason is because a hardware wallet, what it does is you'll create the transaction on the computer, you'll plug in your hardware wallet, the transaction will be encrypted, and it'll be sent to the hardware device. You'll sign it on the device, it'll re-encrypt it and send it back as an encrypted file. Then you can send the signed transaction on the internet. So in that exchange, there's no password that's vulnerable. There's no information that anybody could use to get access to your funds. And so hardware wallets are truly essential if you really want to be serious in this game and start to hold any kind of serious value. So I recommend it for almost all because I can't imagine anybody who's interested in risking or losing their money. So, yes, sir?
What happens if we lose the hardware wallet?
Great question. If you lose the hardware wallet, that's what this paper represents. It is the paper version of the hardware wallet. You would buy another one, you would put in your seed phrase, build in the password again, keep it all the same, and the wallet will just come back. So the physical device is simply an encrypting mechanism to sign your transaction. It really isn't the wallet itself. Okay, it's just a way to privately communicate with the computer so nobody can see what you're saying, right? It's just two-way devices. So you can go to my website. I recommend buying the Trezor Safe 3. They did just come out with the Trezor 5. It's up to you if you want to do it. The Trezor Safe 3, I think, is only $79. So they're pretty cheap. So yeah, $79 for this guy. And this is a hardware wallet. I will teach you how to use it, yeah.
Yeah, I have different wallets, MetaMask,
Sure.
Sol Player for different chains.
It'll all go in here.
So I can have just one device and one seed phrase for all of those wallets.
Yeah, what you would have is a root seed phrase, and then all the other wallets you would make, you can make passwords for them, and that would be the secret word adding to that wallet and finding that data. So yes, you can do that.
Secret phrase would be seed phrase again?
Your seed phrase, yes. So when you buy this device, to set it up, you're going to plug it in, and it's going to say, hey, congratulations, let's download some new firmware. You'll download the firmware, and then it'll say, okay, we're going to set up the device, name the device. Here's the seed phrase for this device. And so it's going to give you all of those words. And then when you go into the wallet, it natively builds you a Bitcoin wallet first off. But then you can start to go Ethereum, Cardano, whatever other tokens that you're holding, and it will build in those wallets.
So for the MetaMask seed phrase, I have to load it into this wallet again.
You would just build this wallet with the seed phrase. Then you would build a Ethereum wallet, and then you would password protect that Ethereum wallet. And once you did that, you would have an individual wallet with a root seed phrase and a password to bring back that wallet.
So there will be like multiple seed phrase for each chain.
No. Yeah, you won't need to do that with this.
Okay.
Just one final password for the wallet for the chain, which is a lot easier to deal with, a lot less messy. Okay, so this is just a hardware device. We'll get back to the wallet construction itself. Let's see.
Here is the Trezor safe.
The Trezors are pretty safe, and so it isn't about like the encryption of it. It's the lack of sharing data to a terminal that's connected to the internet. So these devices, like I said, they keep your information off of a computer by signing away from a computer offline and then transmitting an encrypted file to a computer. And so if that's the way that the exchange is made, there's never an exposed password, there's never an exposed seed phrase, there's never any exposed data. Well, if there's no exposed data and there's nothing online, then you can't be hacked. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to create individuals as institutions that are impenetrable. And this is one of the ways to do that. Okay, and so let me get back to the wallet. Okay, so we're going to create a wallet. And when we create the wallet, like I said on the seed phrase sheet, we're going to do wallet maker, wallet name, and the spending password so we can spend that money eventually. And once you go through this part, then it's going to give you this statement in red or yellow, and it's going to say, hey, I'm going to present you with 24 words, 20 words, 15 words, depending on the wallet. And you are going to write these words down, and they're never going to be shown again. Now, why are they not going to show these words again? Why don't they just store it in the wallet so you can pull them up whenever you want? It wouldn't be safe, right? So it's a one-time show and then a dump. You see it, you write it, and then the words are gone. They're never going to show them to you again. You can't even go into the wallet and pull them up. You can pull down a .json file for the coordinates of the wallet, but that is different. So you want to make sure when you write those words down, you do it carefully and in order, because it does matter, the order does matter, and you want to double and triple check it. Now, you're going to get a receive address. Your first receive address will have a set of numeric characters, and your receive address will look something like this. So this set of numbers here, I'll do this, that's easier. This set of numbers in QR here is the receive address for this particular wallet. And so what you do is when you construct your very first wallet, you have to copy that seed phrase address and put it in a note file. And then what you're going to do is destroy the wallet. Destroy the wallet. So you're going to go in and you're going to delete this wallet, and then you're going to reconstruct the wallet. And what you want is you want the same seed phrase to come back. or you want the same receive address to come back, excuse me. And if you have the same receive address, then you know you've constructed the same wallet that you destroyed, and now this wallet is safe to add money in. Now, some people are paranoid and they don't quite understand the seed phrase component of it. There's another fun way to do it. You could also send $5 to the wallet, destroy the wallet, and then reconstruct the wallet. And if the $5 comes back, obviously you constructed the same wallet again. And then this backup becomes a good backup. You know you've tested it. A lot of people will build a wallet, they'll make the seed phrase, they'll move money in it, and then they tuck this away for a rainy day. And they never even tested if it works. They didn't even test it. And because they didn't test it, maybe something's wrong. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they didn't put something in right. And so they loaded up with all this money. Things are going great for a year or two. They lose their phone or their wallet, and then they come back to this sheet to restore it, and they're unable to do so. And so it is the basic of protocols. When you build a wallet, to either fund it or check the receive address, destroy it, and then recheck the receive address and make sure the funds come back. That is the proper way to build a blockchain wallet. And I assure you, most people do not follow this protocol. And that's why you hear all over the news about, oh, I got hacked, I lost my money. It's quite nearly impossible to lose your money or get hacked in blockchain if you do it right. And so the people that are doing it, they're really making some gross errors. And so this is why I decided one day, I was sitting at my desk, I was like, you know, I'm watching on the news and there's like thousands and thousands of hacks every single day on blockchain, every day. And why is this happening? It's an impossible to hack environment. This makes no sense. Yes, ma'am.
Where does that money go when people can't remember their, I guess, their seed phrase, and they say, I've lost some money? Because I know a lady who's a doctor, and she said she lost $200,000.
Okay.
So now that you're saying this, I'm wondering if it's like, you know, and you hear, like you say, you hear on the news about other people losing. Where does the money go? Where is it?
So the truth is the money's there.
Okay.
They've just lost the ability to move it.
Okay.
And so the money remains on the blockchain forever, stuck in that wallet. And since the encryption is so impossible to hack, it literally is just stuck there. So if she wants to get with me, I do have some techniques to kind of review root seed phrases and to spin up all possible wallets in the environment to see if money pops up. So I do have that ability. If she lost some money, I would bounty that. 30% bounty is my bounty. Yeah. Yeah, tell her. And I would love, I've done it before, I've done it many times. And you can do it if you have the skills and the compute power to do it. But you have to have all the information. I would have to have her seed phrase, her password, and everything, and then I could have a chance. Without that,
if it's
zero.
totally lost, where does lost money go?
Lost, like I said, lost money just stays right where it is. The only thing that's lost is your ability to move it. Right? Does that make sense? The money's right there. In fact, you can look at it all day for the rest of your life. It's going to sit there, and nobody can move it because the keys to move that money have been lost. So that's the really important thing to understand. Nobody's taking the money. The money's stuck.
So
and
it's not a fraud or...
No. If that stuff were to exist previously, then I think blockchain would just crumble. But the fact that it hasn't crumbled, because the truth is the money's not stolen, it's just stuck. And that's why, okay? So we want to make sure that we write down that information. We destroy the wallet. How do you destroy a wallet? Does anybody know? Right here, if you go into the settings of the wallet, so I'm in this test wallet now. If I go into wallet settings and I scroll to the bottom, right there at the very bottom, it says danger zone. Just delete this wallet. So why would they build something like that in there? Like, who wants to delete their bank account? Well, it is important to be able to delete this wallet so you can test it to make sure that it is the wallet that you can bring back. So you always want to do it. So the protocol is you build the wallet, you write down the seed phrase, make sure everything's perfect, move money into the wallet, a small amount, something you're willing to lose, see the money arrive to that wallet, delete the wallet, rebuild the wallet, money comes back, you're golden. Then this becomes gold. You fold it up real nice, don't show it, don't digitize it, make 2 copies, put it in a safe, and if you're really advanced, you meet with me and we put it on something called a crypto steel. which makes it a lot more durable than just a piece of paper. And then we start talking about hiding techniques on where you can store it, not in a vault, not in a safe. Those are those are the first places people
Put
look.
the treasure in it. I was thinking, let me just put it in the safe.
Yeah, but then if you get robbed, what's the first thing people are going for? The safe. But a crypto steel is a very thin, small piece of gun grade steel. It's fireproof. It's totally indestructible. You carve your words on a crypto steel, then you get a baseboard, or you go into the attic, or you do something crazy and you store that there, where nobody in the world would ever know. They can clean out your house, but guess what? They're not going to get your money. They wiped out your computers, they wiped out your phone, they wiped out everything, and then you go into the attic, you go to Best Buy, buy yourself a new phone or whatever, and then you pull that money back in, you make a new wallet and move that money out into a new fresh wallet. Why? Because you don't know what they got away with, and you want to make sure you move that money into a new safe location. And I've had that happen to me. Actually, several times I have clients call me and say, hey, my son just beat me up. He stole my treasures. I have my seed phrase sheets. Help. What do I do? I say, okay. And we will restore and move all those monies out into a new safe location before these guys even figure out how to work this stuff. And so what's really neat about this is when you lose money in those types of extreme situations, you actually have a window of time where people have to figure out how to actually use this stuff because nobody knows how to use it. And so it's another layer of protection for keeping your money. But the ultimate layer is properly hiding these things and properly securing and testing them. That's the real layer. Chances are somebody's really just not going to do it. They're not going to go in and take your stuff. You know, that's pretty extreme. You'd have to have a lot of money, and if you do, then you're using proper protocols. So anyway, so you're going to write down that seed phrase on the sheet, and once you write down that seed phrase on the sheet, you're going to be asked to put that seed phrase back into the computer to test that it's correct. Once that's done, the wallet will construct, and you'll be looking at a screen similar to this with your wallet constructed, ready to go. And like I said, that's when you go to Coinbase, you go over here, you go to the receive address, and you say, okay, I'm going to send money to this receive address. You copy the receive address, put it in Coinbase, send the money to this wallet, $5, and then destroy the wallet. Any questions so far?
Which one do you recommend?
Which one what?
Like, it's either like MetaMask or...
So when we're talking about different wallets like that, we're talking about different chains, right?
Oh.
Because, so there's Sparrow for Bitcoin, there's MetaMask for Ethereum, there's Eternal for Cardano, and then each network also has like 50 other wallets within. The reason why I choose Eternal is because it's the most bells and whistles wallet that I can find. You literally have every button and knob that blockchain allows you to have inside this wallet. If you go into other wallets, maybe the wallet will just let you send or receive. Maybe the wallet will just let you send, receive, and delegate. Maybe the wallet will let you send, receive, delegate, and vote. Maybe it'll let you even swap tokens within the wallet itself, like a mini exchange right inside of your own wallet. The newer wallets, like Eternal, actually allow you to do an exchange inside your own wallet. You're not going to Coinbase anymore already. And this is very new. A lot of people don't realize this, but right now, to do this, we're going bank, Coinbase, private wallet. Oh, the market's up. I got to sell this. Back to Coinbase, sell it, right? Nowadays, it's, oh, market's up. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm going to click a stable coin right here, and I'm going to move my money into a stable coin. The market cools off. Then I sell the stable coin, and I buy more assets right inside my own wallet. So there's really unique things that happen in networks that empower the individual. Some of these things don't exist. In fact, a lot of these things don't exist in other networks. And this is, once again, another reason why I chose Cardano. It's big on self-custody. It's big on liberty, people being able to have and control their own value. That's why this network also has voting. No network in the world has a government voting protocol, and this one does. So what this tells me is this network is starting to empower individuals and give them a voice through voting. And that's a big deal in this world, guys. Being able to vote on blockchain is a big deal. Right now, how do we vote? It's all private rooms and backdoor counting, and there's always discussions on, is this accurate or is this true? And on blockchain, we can actually start to establish voting systems that are honest, transparent, and true. And so all of this is very new, and that's why we're super excited about it. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose this wallet, is because of all the bells and whistles and features for the individual, not for the bank, not for the company, but for you guys. And so another benefit of this network is the fact that it allows you to yield on your money while it's in your own wallet. Now, I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but yielding money or yielding a return on your money while you're holding it is a very unique thing. There is no other place on planet Earth that you can hold your own money and grow that money to more money. It might go up in value, but one day you have one coin, the next day you have two. That's growth. And so this network actually allows you to self-custody and yield. Every other network to yield requires you to send those funds to a different location, and they get locked down by another individual, and they're no longer in your control. This is what we're trying to leave. This is the narrative that we're trying to unwind. We don't want that anymore. Right now we have enough technology to where individuals can self-custody and yield and leverage their own value without a third party. This is the revolution of blockchain. And it's been lost in the muddle of business and VCs and companies that are trying to capture your value, because obviously that's their motto. So what I want people to take away from this class, most importantly, is that a blockchain is not a blockchain. They're not all the same. They are fundamentally different for different reasons. Some of them are for commerce. Some of them are to sell widgets or items. Some of them are to preserve value. And some of them are to empower you by allowing you to leverage your value. And the trick is figuring out which one is which and how to use it. Okay? And what I found in my 9 years of research with blockchain is that this network is designed all around the user. Self-custody, private yield, voting, unhackable, right? Longest running chain without a hack, governance. They have catalysts for funding. You can actually get funding to develop the chain here. So there's so many different things, and it's all revolving around the people. Other chains they revolve quite a bit around business. You know, how can we leverage or make money, or how can we build this company in this and make money off of people? That's a little bit different. And they should exist, and they do exist. But remember, when you're storing your own money, do you want it sitting in Microsoft? Or do you want it sitting in your own institution growing independently, where Microsoft can't one day say, hey, by the way, we just took your money, sorry. And that's the difference that I'm trying to share out with most people, okay? So building these wallets is kind of a big deal. And I want you guys to realize that it is important to build them, test them, destroy them, play with them. You're only gonna get good at it if you build a whole bunch of wallets and start sharing with a friend. So if you guys know anybody else in the crowd here, say, hey, let's go home and build a couple wallets. I'll send you some money, you send me some money. Let's play with this and get good at it, because it's the only way that it works. That's why my boot camps are 4 hours long, because I have to actually spend enough time with you guys to construct a wallet, go over all the security, send money back and forth to the point where you're comfortable to do this safely. Anybody that runs up to you real quick and just builds your wallet and says, all right, good luck, have fun, it's a guarantee you're going to lose your money, because you just don't understand everything that you need to understand. Any questions so far, guys? No?
So with Return, would it minimize fees instead of, like, let's say if I get a meme coin that has insane fees, could I use this instead?
Yeah, a meme coin that has insane fees. So on certain networks there are fees, and once again, that's the design of the network, to have those fees to extract value from people, right? It doesn't have to be that way. Right. They built it that way. And so if you find networks that have high fees, or fees that change and go up during high times of volume, that's built in on purpose so they can extract value. And what they'll claim is they'll say, well, what we wanted to do is we wanted to slow down scaling so the network could keep up with demand. And so we de-incentivize people to buy during high fee times, which allows the network to maintain itself. That doesn't make a lot of sense. What they're doing is they're classing you out. The rich get to operate, the poor have to wait. Does that make sense? So we don't want to support networks that want wealthy people to be served ahead of others, especially when we're talking about global communication grids. We want equal treatment for every single human that interacts with the network. And so this is a very important thing to understand when you're dealing with blockchains. A blockchain is not a blockchain is not a blockchain, you guys. And so it's a great question about the fees, because that's exactly why they exist on some networks. So if you're experiencing that, start looking at other networks and say, You shouldn't have fees like this. And there's an old adage. I'm Native American, and so we talk in funny ways in the Indian community. We talk about these wolves. Which wolf will you feed? Because everybody has two wolves, right? You've got a good wolf and a bad wolf, and the wolf you feed will be the wolf that survives, right? Think of that logic in blockchain. The network we feed will be the network that survives. So as individual people in this world that are looking for a fair shake, honest and equal communication, we need to really start looking deeper into what blockchains are, how they operate, and make sure we feed the wolf that we want to take care of us in the future. Because right now a lot of people are feeding all these kind of wolves, they don't even know what they're doing. Yeah?
You mentioned that it's becoming more difficult to access your money from banks or
In my experience,
in your, right, in your experience.
Yeah.
How accessible is it to take your money here? Say you make some money. I know recently, I think a lot of money was made recently in the cryptocurrency.
We're in a bull market, so yes, it's all rising.
How easy was people say, oh, I just made like 10 times the money or whatever. I want to access it. I want to take it out. How easy is that to do?
What a great question. It varies from chain to chain now, doesn't it? Okay, and so, it varies from chain to chain. In Cardano, it is always 100% liquid. So if you have $1 million and you just turned it into 4 million, you can move all 4 million all at once. Nobody's got it, nobody's controlling it, nobody's locking it. And so it really is important to understand that, because let's say if you were in another network where they took your money that you were growing and it went up, it would be locked down for 2 years.
How long?
2 years in some networks. Yeah. And so what can happen in 2 years on a blockchain, right? Like anything, it could just completely dissolve. And so it's important to realize we're looking at this really new, fantastic environment that is global. And the safest way to navigate it is to evaluate the risk and figure out which ways we can move through with the least amount of risk. And so when I was looking at Bitcoin, I thought it was fantastic. I could self-custody my assets, but what was the drive? Well, the drive is when it goes up, I want to sell it. There's no utility in it. And so what you see are these big pump and dump motions, and that's honest. The movement of money in Bitcoin, when it goes up and down, is called honesty. We're not used to it. And when money goes in, the price goes up, and when money goes out, the price goes down. It's honest. We're used to mechanisms of value that are manipulated through interest rates and drives of purchases and timing to kind of keep that price stable. And so that's not very honest. You can manipulate rates, you can increase purchasing, you can decrease purchasing by motivating or demotivating people. These networks don't possess that manipulation ability, which means when money goes in, they go up, when money goes down, they go down. That's not a bug, that's a feature of honesty, you guys. And we have to get used to this new type of thinking, because we've been born in a box that is quite controlled when it comes to our value. Okay, we're in this box and we can't see out of it. And we're saying, hey, this is weird. It's actually not weird, it's a bonus. We're starting to see the truth in our value. And so if you consider it that way, then you're like, oh, so the fluctuation in value isn't a bug, it's a feature, and it grows 200% a year. Maybe when it goes down, I can buy. And then when it goes up, I make a whole bunch of money. And instead of being part of the train that buys at the top and sells at the bottom, be part of the train that understands the cycles, buy at the bottom, and sell at the top. And it's us learning how these networks are evolving over time. That's what people don't understand. They come in with a mindset of our current system and how it works, and they try to lay that over this, and it doesn't mesh at all. And so they get wrecked. And so if you understand how blockchain works, blockchain is a communication network. It is a global grid of communication without a third party. It's not a widget, it's not a t-shirt, it's not a car, it's not jewelry. It is a communication grid, which means as more and more people discover it, more value will enter it and stay there because of its honest nature. And if that's the case, right now we have about 400 trillion in assets stored globally in siloed environments that are controlled by mediators that don't want to give the value back, or at least stop us from getting some of that value back. And blockchain represents an environment where people can store value, where they have absolute control of that value. That means we're at 3.1 trillion, possibly moving to 400 trillion. Now, if we have any mathematicians in here, the scale of growth on an individual that were to buy some of these tokens now and then inject that money, 400 trillion, into those tokens, the estimated value will be in the millions and millions of dollars per token. In fact, I'm not the only one that thinks this. Major retirement firms and major government institutions agree, and they are saying that Bitcoin will be $1 million in the next 5 years. Who disagrees with that? Does anybody disagree or agree? I would love to hear any thoughts on why we think or don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee for anything, right?
Of course. All speculation, we don't know.
So one thing that I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Not like saying it should happen, it will happen or something. Where there's money, a lot of big corporations start running towards it.
Yes.
And PTC is now being bought actively by iShares, which is owned by BlackRock.
Yes.
And a lot of these ETF firms keep buying them.
Yes.
Now, because their ETFs, retirement funds go into that, so we can have more trust. But still, MicroStrategy, BlackRock, Vanguard, they're owning significant amount of money, so
Right.
they still have the power to manipulate the market.
Sure, absolutely. That's honesty. That's honesty. See, before, how were the markets manipulated in the current stock market? After hours trading, you don't have a shot. The transactions are done and you get to the desk in the morning and it's over. At least in Bitcoin, you can set reminders, it's all live, you can set auto trades, and you can debunk that type of activity that's in closed markets that open 9 to 5 and have backdoor trading. So it's an honesty thing. So there's always volatility in all markets, even the stock market. The problem is we can't control what we can do when the volatility occurs. In blockchain, we can. Okay, so saying Bitcoin is the only volatile asset would be untrue, right? We have stocks going up all the time and going down all the time. We have access. In fact, one of my clients called me, he's a dentist, and he's like, James, I got to tell you, I got into Bitcoin and I wasn't really sure about it. And he's like, I love it. He's like, there's no aftermarket trading. I know when my alerts go off where I'm at. I can buy, sell, and trade at my leisure. And he's like, I am doing well because there's no manipulation in this market. It's honest. And that's what he told me. And so I was like, I'm really glad you're seeing it that way, because I didn't know he was such a hardcore trader. He's a dentist. But apparently when he goes home, he trades till his heart's content. And so to understand, once again, it's not a bug, it's a feature that it goes up and down. And learning how to leverage it is naturally what anybody would do. Yeah?
What are some indicators that like you can see on the Bitcoin that will go up or down? Because in stock markets, there's obviously news,
Yeah.
companies backing in.
Yeah. So what are the indicators that's going to jump up and down? Well, what's really interesting is we have a lot of retirement firms like BlackRock, ARK Invest, MicroStrategies. All of these different companies are starting to allocate funds, and they're publicly traded companies. So they list the value that they're going to be putting into the market prior to doing so. They actually have to get votes. And so if you know where to look and look at these companies, you can see how many dollars they're putting or planning to put into the blockchain network. And so right now, my estimation is there's about 20 trillion that's going to go into the blockchain environment over the next 2 to 5 years. 20 trillion. Who knows how large the entire blockchain market is right now? All of it. What's it? 3.7 trillion. Okay, so we're going from 3.7 trillion, you guys, to 20 trillion. Now, I would grab a calculator. That's a lot of growth. It's a lot of money that's going to migrate in, and it's not even the big chunk. Because like I said before, there's $400 trillion stored in assets in siloed environments that are seeking a better way to represent themselves, and they will migrate to blockchain one way or another over time. So yeah, 20 trillion is great. 400 trillion is the end. So we're looking at a 30-year off and on migration of value entering this space for different utility and purpose. Some will be for commerce, some will be for asset preservation, some will be for data and records. UNLV is looking at creating blockchain certificates so they don't have to issue paper graduation certificates. One of the number one problems UNLV has right now is fraudulent credentials. Did you guys know that? I had no idea. I was talking to Jamie Schwartz about it, and she's like, it's amazing how robust people think they are by making these fake resumes and giving us these fake certificates. And it takes us a long time to validate it, but we find all these fakers, and it's a problem. And so universities are looking for a better way to produce a graduation certificate that can't be faked and instantly verified. You guys, that sounds like an NFT to me. That sounds like an NFT issued from UNLV. They hold the policy ID. Any employer can look at that policy ID, flex it, see that it's UNLV's website, and be like, you have a doctorate. I just checked right now, instantly. So things like this are going to happen in our new world because the old paper way is failing, and it's failing hard. So anticipate these moves and you'll do very well. And that's what I've been doing over the past 5 years. I retired 5 years ago and I've dedicated all my time to researching this stuff. I've been researching it for 9 years. And if you can anticipate where the money is moving, this is a classic statement. If you can get ahead of the money, you win. And money is migrating into blockchain, and it will for the next 30 years. So the trick is how do you buy and hold it, and how do you buy and hold something that will be here in 30 years? And these are the fundamentals that we go over. We talk about fixed supply assets that can't be printed to infinity, like the dollar. We talk about decentralization because we don't want any government control. We talk about rights like self-custody and voting. These are really important things that matter on-chain. And so when you're looking at blockchain, I urge you guys, please play the game of, is this good for me or not? Do I have more money at the end of the day or less? Is this taking more money from me, or is it actually preserving my value? When you start to answer these questions, you will clearly find networks that benefit you. And like I said, Cardano is the only one that I could find that truly allows individuals to hold their own money, grow their own money, and have absolute control over their value. Other networks, they capture the value, they lock it away, or they take some of the fees, or they front run you, or whatever they do. Or they're privately owned, or they're not decentralized, or they're hacked all the time, or they shut down. Look at the list, you guys. This is your money. You should be very particular about where you store it. And so building wallets just like this, self-custody wallets, getting it out of institutions like Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini is the way to usurp all of that nefarious activity. Any questions, you guys? Yeah.
Why do you think Cardano's ecosystem has not flourished, even though it was started like long time back?
2017.
Yeah, for example, Ethereum's ecosystem has flourished. Then Binance started flourishing in 2021, and then now
Binance is not a global network, but okay. Binance is a company. But the comparison would be Cardano and Ethereum, because Binance is a totally different institution.
Right, but in 2021 there was a huge boom in the number of applications that came to Binance, Binance chain, and then this year Solana started growing its ecosystems of applications on top of layer 1. But I was wondering, like, why is Cardano not flourishing in terms of its ecosystems of apps?
Actually, it is. And so the understanding, what happened, what I saw, was that when Ethereum and Cardano came out in both 2017, Ethereum ran. Okay? They launched their network and their token at the same time, and a lot of people don't even understand this. There's a network and a token, you guys. Bitcoin is a network and a token. Ethereum is a network and a token. Cardano is a network, and ADA is its token. So they ran with both all at the same time, and their network was still under development. This caused the DAO hack. This caused a whole bunch of problems. People are losing money. What are there, 6,000 hacks a day on Ethereum right now because of their smart contract platform? So what they did was they ran with a motto called move fast and break things. This is what Vitalik Buterin said. We're going to move fast and break things. The problem is this isn't a car. This isn't a shirt. The thing that's being broken is the individual that uses the network, because they're the losers, right? So with the narrative of move fast and break things, they went forward and Cardano didn't. They went to universities, they started peer review research groups, and they got mathematicians, cryptologists, theologians, and other entities to form a system that would create a global governance structure. They did that for 5 years, and they wrote 100 peer-reviewed research papers in that time. So you say, well, Ethereum started right when Cardano did. I agree. But Ethereum ran with its network, got first mover market share, but now they're getting hacked, and there's a lot of problems with it. And Cardano is starting to grow. It's never been hacked. It's getting government adoption. It's the most decentralized network in the world. So although it slowed down its launch, it did it for the betterment of the individuals to preserve their value. And so when people say, well, it's not thriving, I say, well, I would recheck. I think it's thriving for when it started, and Cardano dropped its network in 2021 and released smart contracts right before the bull market. It wasn't enough for it to grow. So what? It had smart contracts. It wasn't ready yet. But now Cardano has smart contracts, NFTs, governance, voting, yields, all of these things, and now we're starting to see the value in the network receive money for utility, and that's not going to stop at this point. So really it is a confusion in timing, and I have a presentation that I did over this. I said, look, you guys have to realize stopping and waiting and moving slow to preserve people is not a bug, it's a feature. Right? We don't want to move fast and break things when we're talking about our money. We want to move slow, methodical, and be highly secure. And that's the stance that Cardano takes versus other networks that are like move fast and break things. So it's a great question, and it's a very valid question, but the truth is Cardano didn't drop but 3 years ago. And that's the real time the network could actually assume value and grow. And it missed its bull market in 2021. But now it's present here, and we're seeing Bitcoin write an operating system to link into Cardano. We're seeing Cardano able to wrap any network token right into itself and move the token on its network for super cheap, highly secure. And so these types of things are going to cause a mass integration where most networks, to preserve their security problems, to keep them away, they're going to just simply take their token, wrap it into Cardano, send it, and then unwrap it, and then put it back on their network. And that's going to make things a lot safer and more secure. So the liquidity that we currently see in Bitcoin, which is about I think it's like 2.7 or something like that trillion, the liquidity in Bitcoin doesn't move very well on its own network. But you can wrap a Bitcoin on Cardano, and you can send it on there for a penny. And it's highly secure and safe. And it uses the EUTXO and the UTXO, which means you can trigger code on Cardano, and it happens on Bitcoin. No bridge, no sidechain, no risk. A lot of people just don't understand how deep this goes and how it really functions on the bottom layer. And so they miss these details, and they hear this guy on YouTube say, oh, this is going to be the best token, I promise. I don't think so. If you haven't ripped networks apart and figured out where their flaws are, there's no way you can stand there and say any token's going to beat Bitcoin or utility networks that are decentralized with fixed supplies. What's your question?
Yeah, so I mean, one reason, thanks for sharing all that.
Of course, yeah.
I'm personally invested in Cardano.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
But
Are you staking it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
You're right.
Very good. Very good. So you're making yield on your money in your own wallet.
Yes.
It's right here, living proof that it works.
My concern is, however, there are so many chains coming up, layer one chains.
There are.
And especially every new bull cycle, there's another super hit chain like this year.
Sure.
Cardano to go. So I'm confused, like which in future, like 20 years down the line,
Sure.
not every chain will exist.
Correct.
So whoever is the most robust, and also first to market matters, even if they are not perfect. If they
First to market matters.
In a market, there's no going back, because institutions, once they adopt a chain, even if it's faulty,
They're going to make it work.
they want to continue with that.
Correct.
It's too expensive to go back and change the systems.
Correct.
So it's just my concern, like which of these chains will eventually be the leaders? There will be multiple, but right now there's Tron, Cardano, Ethereum, Solana, Sui.
Gets exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so it boils down to friction. And this is historical. Okay, money will always find the path of least friction. Check it out in history. I learned this from hundreds of years of history. Whatever network provides the most value over time to the people will become hard money, is what they call it. Okay? And people will start giving away soft money for hard money. And this has happened over time in history. And when people see that I can hold my own money, I can yield on my own money, I can vote, I can create an NFT. I can do all of this right inside of my own wallet without the worry about being hacked. That will start to spread over time. And so we ask what will be in existence in 30, 150 years. I think it will be the most decentralized networks with fixed supply assets that have the most utility and that do the most for people. Cardano has a lot of that, doesn't it? And so if you understand how other networks really work, you will find that they have embedded end dates because of the way they treat individuals. At some point, people are going to be sick of front running, and they're going to say, I wanted to buy that for $12, not $15, and somebody just front run my transaction, and now I ended up paying more. Those networks will have an expiration date. They just will, because people just don't want to play that way. I'm not saying that VCs won't pump it to the moon. I'm not saying VCs won't pile in money and say, look, it's going up, buy it. And then they pull their money out and they rug pull you. I'm not saying that won't happen. So it will go up. But whether it stays up and it persists will be predicated on these basic fundamentals that we're talking about now. Okay? And so hard money is always the money with the least friction. Just think about it that way. And Cardano is a great choice. Great choice. Any other questions? No? All right, guys, well, I think I've expired my time. I know we didn't get too far into the wallet build, but I urge you guys to seek me out on Cardano Mint. You guys can head over to the website, book a private session with me. I will go over the nuts and bolts of actually producing a real wallet. You'll walk away with an actual functional real wallet, but it just takes more than 1 hour to do. These are 4-hour boot camps. Come with your coffee on board, ready to work, because we're going to do some highly technical stuff. We're even going to tweak the wallet on the blockchain so that it can generate returns, and it will generate returns forever, whatever's in that wallet.
Do you have any appointments next week?
I'm taking the rest of the year off.
So
you guys can reach me at any time in January or after. Yeah. So I'm an independent. I have family, at home. I want to play with them for the week, so we've been doing a lot of crazy stuff.
I built the wallet and put in the password. Now I don't see the wallet. So.
Okay. I definitely want to see it so we can figure it out for you, because I'll help you through it. I promise.
So see you in January.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody's attendance. Appreciate you guys.